Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Desert Sky Adventures. A lot of people have been asking, if I come to Tombstone and I'm just going to be there for a day, what should I see? Or maybe you're going to be here for a couple days and you're looking to bide your time as best as possible. Well, this is a video for you. Everyone knows Tombstone has great restaurants, great saloons, tons of living history. This is the top 5 must-do Tombstone attractions. And it's coming up right now on Desert Sky Adventures.
Tombstone's rich history attracts people from literally all over the world. There are many things to see, do, and experience in Tombstone, especially if you love history. But when it comes down to those top 5 must-do attractions, I recently asked the citizens of Tombstone in an online poll what they would recommend, and these are the results of that poll. Let's jump into it. Number 5, Boot Hill Cemetery. Many Old West towns have a Boot Hill, and Tombstone is no different. They call it Boot Hill because most of the people who are buried here died with their boots on. A very unique experience to walk around amongst these old graves and tombstones. And they give you a little pamphlet that you can read all about the history, at least of the people who are known. There are plenty buried here who are unknown. But notable characters such as Marshal Fred Wyatt, and of course old Lester Moore, buried here at Boot Hill. Laid out in 1879 by the Tombstone Townsite Company, this original graveyard is just off Highway 80 West, where many of Tombstone's earliest pioneers were laid to rest. Some 250 known people were buried in Boot Hill before it officially closed its doors in 1884. And again, a very unique experience just to walk amongst these tombstones and to read about how the many people who are buried here passed away. They also have a really cool Old West gift shop that you can pass through on your way out. Boot Hill Cemetery coming in at the number 5 spot on the must-do Tombstone attractions. Let's move on to number 4. Number 4, the Rose Tree Museum. Did you know that the world's largest rose bush is in Tombstone, Arizona? Well, it's true. So this rose bush came from Scotland. Back in 1885, it was planted and grew into the world's largest rose bush. This rose bush does bloom every April, obviously not right now, but we'll come back when it does.
So I'm walking now under the canopy of the world's largest rose bush. This thing actually broke the record as the world's largest when it was only a quarter of this size. So it has gotten quite a bit bigger since it broke that record.
I've always found the Rosebush Museum, especially the patio out back, to be a very tranquil and relaxing place. And it's great, especially during the summertime. You can come in here and for $5 you can hang out. A nice shady area. They've got some benches and some chairs back here. And if you want to just get away from the festival crowds or spend a little time out of the heat, this is a great area to do that. Now, there is more to this museum than just the rose bush. They also have some accurate depictions of some 1880s homes. And remember what these homes look like, because these are people who are pretty well off. In just a little bit, we'll see some of the poor residents and how they lived. This museum was not very busy today, and was very quiet on the inside. So that was our quick look at the Rose Tree Museum. It takes the number 4 spot in our top 5 Tombstone must-do attractions. Let's move on to number 3. Number 3, the Cochise County Courthouse. Built in the shape of a Roman cross, this 2-story 1882 Victorian structure once housed the Cochise County offices of the sheriff, recorder, treasurer, the jail, courtrooms, and the board of supervisors. Today, the old county courthouse is a 12,000 square foot museum filled with the memorabilia of those who tamed the territory. Huge rooms inside the old courthouse feature exhibits chronicling Tombstone's colorful frontier history, from Geronimo to the silver mining days to the OK Corral gun battle, and the stories of Tombstone's unique but no less notorious citizens.
Whole lot of Tombstone and Cochise County history that happened right here in this courthouse. And it's always a very unique experience to come in here and walk around, especially when there's nobody here like there is today.
This is a giant museum, and there is so much history in here. You could easily spend an entire day in here reading up on all the Tombstone history if you would like to. The admission here is $7, and once you are in, you can come in and out as long as you keep your ticket. Moving on now to spot number 2, that's going to go to the Good Enough Mine Tour on Tough Nut Street. The mine tour is a very interesting experience, and remember, without the mines, there would be no Tombstone. So this is a great way to go into the actual mines that are at least 140 years old and see how the operation was conducted back then. There was no flashlights or lanterns. These guys had to use candlelight and a sledgehammer, essentially, to get the ore out of the mine. We did recently take a Good Enough Mine tour ourselves, and I will put the link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. Now, they do offer a few different tours. There's the basic tour, which takes you about 175 feet below ground There is also one that is a bit more physical where you actually rappel. That one takes you about 400 feet underground. Also a dinner show that goes on down there as well. I don't know too much about that. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't done it yet. You can also get a look of what life was like for Tombstone's poorest residents. And before we reveal that number one spot, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. There were a few locations that came up just short of the top 5, and here they are in no particular order. So just short of the top 5 was Old Tombstone Western Theme Park. This is a great place for the whole family. There's lots of things to do. You could probably spend an entire day just in this little theme park. They've got the old Tombstone gunfight shows. They've got a really cool shooting gallery. They also have Tombstone's only mini golf location. Our next honorable mention is Big Nose Kate's Saloon, the classic Tombstone Saloon. This place is a really good time. They serve up really good food and drink. They've got a nice bar, live music very frequently, and it's a historic location. It used to be the Grand Hotel, and the top part of the hotel burned away in the fire, but the bottom still exists as Big Nose Kate's Saloon. And our last honorable mention that fell just short of the top 5 is Wyatt Earp's Oriental Saloon. Now this is more than just a bar, but it's a theater with daily Old West shows. They also have the classic bar area here as well, which is very cool. And they've also got a casino. They'll even teach you to play the Old West card game Pharaoh if you're interested. Well, there's only one spot left, and I think it will come as no surprise to many, but the number one must-do attraction in Tombstone, as voted by the residents of Tombstone, is the Birdcage Theater. Of course, the Birdcage Theater. It's the crown jewel of Tombstone. The Birdcage was opened in 1881 and ran until 1894. It's widely recognized as perhaps one of the most haunted buildings in all of America. I'd read that the place closed in 1894 and was sealed until 1929. I've read other accounts that say it was sealed until 1934. But either way, what you see in here is authentic from the period. And there's tons of history just in the lobby, but once you get past the partition and into the main casino floor, that's where all the really cool stuff is. They even have the original curtain still hanging in here from 1881, hand painted. It's one of the few places in the world where you can see the Fiji mermaid. And all these old, authentic artifacts now reside on the casino floor. Nice spot in the Old West. Just about anybody who is anybody in the Old West spent some time in this building, and it's still here today. So we climb the creaky old staircase and head to the backstage area. There's even more things to look at back there, but you get a good view into some of these cribs where the prostitutes worked. And back here in the backstage area, even more artifacts to look at. That Boot Hill sign up there was actually used in the movie Tombstone. And the Black Maria, the original Tombstone hearse, one of 8 that were ever built. It's the only one that still exists. From the backstage, you can take the stairs down into the basement, which is probably, in my opinion, the most interesting part of the building. You can take a look into the old bordello rooms where some of the more higher-end prostitutes used to work. And down here was also the scene of the world's longest poker game. It went on continuously for 8 years, 24 hours a day. These tables and chairs are from that game. You can even take a peek under the stage and see some of those old barrels that are still here. No one knows what kind of alcohol is in them, but whatever it is, it's vintage. Birdcage also has a really cool Old West gift shop that you can peruse on your way out. Plenty of cool things to see and buy in here. But this top 5 list just barely scratches the surface of things to see and experience in Tombstone. Here's a quick look at some of the others.
Alright guys, so that was our look at the top 5 must-do Tombstone attractions. I hope you found it both educational and entertaining. And if you did, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That really helps us out. It helps our content be seen by more people, and that does a lot of good things for us. So, from Tombstone, Arizona, Allen Street Historic District, see you down the road.